Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us for another exciting episode here at Fort Worth Roots. This episode is sponsored by GW District. GW District is a Black-owned family business. Their mission is to empower small and minority businesses by cross-selling and marketing. GW District helps these small businesses by getting over some major hurdles that all businesses are faced with. For example, advertising for the product and properly branding their merchandise. Most large marketplaces are flooded with competition, and small businesses can get lost in the mix. At GW District, they have created a space entirely focused on the small business owner, and, this is the important part, they've made it affordable. So don't wait. You got time to listen to a podcast? Then you've got time to check out GW District. Go to www.shopgwdistrict.com. You can also find them on Instagram and Facebook, GW District. That's the read. Now let me tell you a little bit about what I found. I went to the website. Beautiful website. I'm going to have to take some notes. Great photography of the items that they have listed. I spoke with the owner today, and he said that they are on track for 50 different companies advertising on their website. That doesn't sound like a lot, but they just got started. And he's actively bringing in more and more people, business owners, every day. So what I found so far, some of the tabs on the website: books, men's and women's clothing, category specifically to locate Black-owned businesses, skincare and health, handcrafted goods, jewelry, and a tab for athletics. Anyway, you need to check it out. And if you are a small business owner, hey, I get it. I know how expensive it is to do these things that GW District is taking care of already. And that's why it's so popular. There's a need for it, and the owners of GW District have made it affordable. So go check it out. You do yourself a disservice by not checking it out. And this ad's kind of for the business owners, but if you're wanting to shop small or minority owned, I encourage you to go check this out. Absolutely. Great products, powerful message. It's worth checking out. Go to GW District on Instagram or Facebook, or go straight to the website, www.shopgwdistrict.com. This episode of the podcast is also sponsored by Clean and Clear Lawn and Landscaping. Clean and Clear Lawn and Landscaping is your DFW sod expert. Based out of Fort Worth, Texas, Clean and Clear is your solution at home or for your business. If it's happening outside, whether you need full-scale commercial monthly landscape maintenance, new home landscape design like flower beds and dirt work, or retaining walls and fencing, or maybe it's just time for some fresh mulch around your beautiful house. Whatever it is, Clean and Clear Lawn and Landscaping has you covered. You can check them out at cleanandclearlawnandlandscaping.net, or you can call Stephen, the owner of Clean and Clear, at 940-597-9252. Okay, that's the read. Let me tell you how I met Stephen. I did some work with a television network, and I signed a bunch of paperwork with these people, so I don't know if I'm even allowed to use their name. But I will tell you that they deal with gardens at homes, and they are on television. That seems pretty specific. You can probably figure it out. Anyway, I was in charge of making sure that the landscape around the properties got done in a very timely fashion. These people were moving, and I needed some help. I needed an expert. I needed somebody that I could rely on. Somebody suggested Stephen at Clean and Clear. They said, hey, I know this veteran. I've got his contact information. I think he'd be happy to help. Reached out to him, and it wasn't a mistake. I was able to get through the project, all 6 properties, on time or better, and within budget. So all that stuff was very important, and I didn't know how I was going to get it to work. But Stephen held my hand and got me through the whole thing. So that's how we met. I've worked with Stephen for years now. He's a great guy. He's a good family man, and I just can't say enough good things about this guy. Don't hire Stephen because he's a great guy. Don't hire Stephen because he's one of the most reliable people I know. Hire Stephen because you want the job done right the first time, and you don't want to pay an arm and a leg. That's why you hire Stephen. Clean and Clear Lawn and Landscaping specializes in sod. They have relationships with sod farms in the area, and they can get sod when other people can't. Not only that, but they get it fresh. It's straight off the truck. It doesn't sit on a lot baking in the sun and then getting picked up and delivered to your property. It comes straight from the farm. That makes a huge difference. Also, since there's no middleman, Stephen gets the lowest prices. So you're getting fresh product, you're getting lower prices, and you're getting the expertise that comes with Clean and Clear. Again, the website is cleanandclearlawnandlandscaping.net, or just call Stephen directly, 940-597-9252. All right. We did it. Those are the ads. Big thanks to our sponsors, GW District and Clean and Clear Lawn and Landscaping. Thank you for supporting the show. My guest today is from Baltimore, Maryland. She is the president of Ruby Weston Concerts. She studied music at Peabody Conservatory and Copen State University. She's been busy lately bringing joy to hundreds of residents at long-term care facilities during the COVID-19 pandemic. She says the best way to reach her is just by emailing her at rubyweston@yahoo.com. You can find her on YouTube and Instagram. Her Instagram is Ruby Weston Concerts. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the amazing Ruby Weston. Awesome. Thank you guys. Let's start the show. And I was editing one of my episodes this morning, and I noticed that I had left my book open, and I set it right here, and the camera had all of like the personal information, phone numbers and stuff on. I was like, so I just took the video and I put the Fort Worth Roots logo right on top of it.
Perfect.
So if y'all are listening and y'all saw that, that's what happened. I messed up. So lots of mistakes.
Yeah, but editing is wonderful.
I hope that drive wasn't too bad.
I got a chance to see the countryside, which I didn't get to see for a while. Good, nice highway driving.
Yeah, y'all, Ruby was awesome. She drove in from Dallas today. That's at least an hour. You probably did more like an hour and a half drive, didn't you?
About that. There was a few accidents along the way, but yeah, it was about an hour. But I'm trying to start working in Fort Worth if I can.
Oh, okay.
And so I need to know what that drive is like. So I was happy to make it.
For sure. Well, before we go on any further, I shouted out your Instagram. Where else can people find your work?
You can find me on Facebook. I have a heavy presence on Facebook, either at Ruby Weston Concerts. Either one, you should find me and my content. Also on YouTube at Ruby Weston Concerts. I have my channel, and if you like and subscribe, you have a lot of videos on there that don't normally get posted to other social media outlets. So kind of little bonus footage there. So.
Okay. Well, you kind of beat me to the punch. I had the idea before I got the recordings started that I was going to reach out to some of the, what do they call those? The activity directors for nursing homes. Mm-hmm. And then I saw what you were doing. And I was like, man, somebody else had the idea. Of course, I wouldn't be singing for them.
Well, still reach out because they need interaction, and any type of variety is fine. And you'd be surprised the type of people that you meet in there.
Sure.
Because just for every person that is working professionally today, there's a retired version of that person in a nursing home that would love to do something like this. So
and ready to tell their stories too.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine
they have some stories to tell.
Sure.
Yes.
You imagine putting a microphone in front of them and just letting them ramble.
Yeah, and a glass of wine.
Thousands of hours of content just waiting to be tapped.
Oh yes, you'd find some secrets.
Well, that's one of the things with the coronavirus that I was thinking about is the people in the nursing homes. You know, they're already isolated. I mean, they're in a long-term care facility. They get minimal interaction as it is, and now they can't go to see their doctors, right?
No.
They can't have family members stop by for their semi-regular monthly visit.
Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. The saddest part I've noticed is that the interaction is down to a minimum. Some people, depending on the makeup of the community, are literally confined to their rooms.
Right.
So they can't come out, and depending on what your condition is, whether it be dementia or Alzheimer's or something, you're just not allowed to leave a small confined space. So it's like prison. Yeah. And then you can't have families come in, interact, and depending on, like I said, the makeup of the building, entertainment has been canceled completely. Yeah. Now I've been performing like outside, and they can open their windows to the ones that have windows that can open.
Right.
But everybody else is really like isolated, no interaction of any kind, except if the activities director is kind enough to let them look at their phone or use their laptop or something. But they moved there because entertainment was supposed to be brought to them,
right,
and now it can't be. So they are really at a loss.
That's terrible. I just can't even imagine. So you've how many different facilities are you going to on a regular basis?
Now, not as many as I used to.
Right.
Maybe 4 or 5 on a regular basis because of protocols. They keep changing. So some allow you to sing maybe outside on the terrace. Some will allow you to sing in the courtyard, and they just open their windows. So it just, I guess, depending on the city. And you can't really, obviously, you can't get close at all. But then some won't allow them to even be close to each other. So you have people that are allowed to listen from their rooms, or then they'll have some to a table, and then you can entertain maybe from the street corner. I've heard of some of my colleagues singing from rooftops.
What?
Across the street.
With a harness on? Or?
Yeah, well, they got special permission, I think, one time from a parking garage to sing on a rooftop to the building across the street. So, so they've come up with a lot of areas or ways for us to try to entertain them. Some of these ways have been successful and some haven't. So it's, like I was at a place, I think yesterday, and because of the heat, they're only allowed to come outside really early in the morning. So it's 9:30, and they're groggy, but just to get outside and to interact, they were happy to come outside, and they were like under the parking pad, and I could be, across the street from them and sing, and you know what I mean? So they enjoyed it. But a lot of places, like one place I sang outside their building in the courtyard, they can't come out, but they can open their windows, and then some places windows don't open because it's up so high.
Security, you got people in there with sundowners and different forms of dementia, and you don't want to have a window that can open. Right,
exactly. No, you don't. And for those, I try to offer like virtual concerts, like concerts on video, or if they have closed circuit TV or Zoom. But a lot of facilities aren't equipped for that because they never expected to have to do that. So now, some of them are just going without entertainment at all. So I try to send YouTube videos when I can, but I'm so saddened by it because these are people that I see every month on a regular basis, and those eyes that were used to have light in them are just getting sadder and sadder and sadder. I hope something gets done because I don't think that the elderly in senior communities comes up enough in daily conversation when they talk about the virus and different protocols and things like that. They're forgotten, and please don't forget about them because they can't be touched, and they really need to be touched. It's a part of their everyday thing, their routine, and if you can't do your routine, if you're used to a hug or a kiss or a song every day and now you're not getting that, it is important, and they're holding on to just a little bit right now, and they don't have that, and it's starting to be less and less worth it to stick around, and it breaks my heart. It really does. It really breaks my heart. Some people their mental state is deteriorating, and they're having to be moved to other facilities where they're not even familiar with the staff, and it's out of control. So, but I try to, stay upbeat because it's hard to sing and cry, but I'm passionate about it. I really am.
It's an upsetting situation.
It is.
What are you doing to kind of cope with it?
There's really nothing to be done. I watch a lot of Netflix, and then I do other things that obviously that was my primary source of income as well. Right. So DoorDash, Instacart, whatever I can do, because a lot of what I do is social and around people, that is kind of brought everything to a screeching halt. So it's really hard. I'm doing different things like delivering food and bird scooters, you name it, everything I can possibly do.
Oh,
honestly.
You got into the scooters.
Oh, everything. I know. Yeah, I know. That's another controversial topic, but it's a lifesaver for a lot of people that are out of work, and then to be I guess I would be considered a gig worker, quote unquote.
Yeah.
We don't qualify for certain types of unemployment and other things because, it's not really documented tax wise what our expenses are and different things like that. So we're not officially on record for them to track our income and then what we qualify for. So we're another annex of the forgotten world, and you're just waiting for everything to open up so that you can pay your rent.
Yeah, this has been rough, and every industry seems to be affected by it, but certainly there's more impacted by it. So like gig workers and people that are working in restaurants. Anybody in the medical field, obviously, and there's probably hundreds of things that we're not thinking of right now, but everybody's hurting. It is. So, but it sounds like you're ingenuitive, that you're coming up with whatever ideas you can.
I'm trying.
And you're here today. That's a good move.
I'm so definitely trying to get into new markets. If anybody has any ideas, I am adventurous, so I am definitely game for doing something crazy.
Just show me the money.
Somebody. Yeah, of course. But also, I'm here to help because I definitely, I just think it's sad what's happening to the seniors. So, if you've got a weird idea, call me.
Yeah. Well, and I keep coming back to the same idea when it comes to creativity versus monetization. It's like, well, I gotta eat. But really, all you want to do is get to a financial level where you can just create, right?
Oh, yeah, that's all. I mean, I've told my kids every day, if I could just wake up and just what's on the schedule for the day is just doing what I do.
Yeah.
Just create, like get breakfast out of the way and just, what do we have today? Just you record these songs and go here and perform, and then that's it. That would be heaven for me.
Right.
Not trying to really even be rich, but just afford to do what I love for a living.
Yeah.
And of course, that would put forth some good product as well.
Sure.
So, that would be everything for me. Don't want too much.
And I think that's why a lot of the creative content worldwide comes out of the United States, is because, well, I mean, as rough as we have it, even with COVID, this is one of the most relaxed environments to live in. I mean, we've got a pretty good system here for the most part, and that allows us to be more creative.
Yes.
And the rest of the world notices that. I mean, if you watch any of those foreign films, you realize we make really good movies.
We do. Yeah.
Right.
We do. Now, I admire some of the actors, though, that come out of, especially England. My Lord.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm not dogging on any kind of foreign actors.
No, not at all. But just to name a few, they have some superior qualities. Some of them are just.
Who's your favorite actor?
Ooh.
If you got to pick just one, I mean, for the range and the quality of the performances, it can be theater, it can be movies. Wow.
It would be hard to pick just one. It's hard because I'm in two places. I have 4 kids, so they're all in between the 20s and 5. So needless to say, I watch a lot of Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So I would be probably, I'd kind of be married to like a Tony Stark type of Robert Downey. But he's a phenomenal actor. I've seen him do so many things also. But inside, if I'm stuck in the Marvel universe, Benedict Cumberbatch is phenomenal.
Did you see his movie he did? It was something to do with the encoding system that they used in World War II.
Yes.
He was amazing in that movie.
Exactly. I mean, he just draws you in. So but then of course I watch a lot of, because of the music that I do, I watch a lot of older movies. And so you're still with, Cary Grant, and you're with, who else is the, one I want to mention? It's not even rolling off my tongue right now, but you had Sidney Poitier and, just different older movies where they just drew you in and you were just starstruck. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I love it. If it's all beauty, I'm involved.
We watched an old classic the other night, almost entirely as a joke. I walked by the $5 movie bin at Walmart. I was shopping for something else, and we'd been talking about this movie, And I saw it in the $5 movie bin, so I just grabbed it, brought it home and watched it. It's filmed in 78, maybe.
Okay.
Jaws.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
We're going to need a bigger boat. When's the last time you actually watched it, though?
It's been a while, but I like that movie.
I had forgotten how good it was, though.
Yes.
And I mean, here we are, 2020, watching this movie. And I told my girlfriend before we started watching it, I was like, okay, now this is going to be a little cringy because it's old. You know, you kind of have to expect. And we started watching it, and it wasn't cringy at all. It stood up. Yeah. I mean, it was impressive, but the acting was great. Probably about midpoint of the movie, she's like, I'm so tense. Like, I don't know why I'm so anxious right now. I was like, they're doing a good job. I mean, that's the feeling they're trying to portray.
Well, they had limited special effects, so it had to be, the music had to be on point, the acting had to be on point, everything had to come together because they were limited any other way.
If they'd have been riding on just the quality of the shark, they'd have been in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
because that was the janky part of the movie. It was just,
yes, it was.
Oh, they tried, you know.
Well, and you invested in the characters. You were really worried about what happened, and then, of course, if you invest in the franchise, then you start to see how he gets stuck on this shark. And
is he in the second one?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, now I want to see it.
It's an obsession. After a while, and it grows, and eventually his wife ends up being obsessed because she watched him be obsessed for so long. He died being obsessed, and then she's obsessed. And
is it the same female from the first one?
Mm-hmm. Oh, the cast stays the same. The kids grow up, and they're on it, and she tries to move on with her life, but she can't. And now it's like, why is she obsessed with this shark? And you would think that it was the same one because, it's like, well, why do they just want you?
The same shark, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now I'm going to have to see it. We saw IMDb. We're looking through trying to find the names of some of the actors because they're so young in the first one. You're like, who is that?
Yeah.
And then
Well, if you look at the main character, the man, I think his name is Rob Schneider, I want to say, but they are all in the second one. So if you follow them throughout the series, you will find them.
Yeah. Yeah. But the IMDb showed Jaws 2, Jaws 3, and I'm like, I bet those are just stupid.
2 was good. I think 3 was
That's okay.
And then 4 comes back though. So in other words, but it's funny if you look at the 3 of most franchises, it was a little off, and then they come back. You know what I mean? So but hang in there because there's one in there and it's a little like, all right, and then it comes back and you're just like, okay, you redeemed yourself. So it's good. But hang in. I mean, just for posterity's sake, you will realize so many movies that you've seen since then that are referenced in that movie.
Oh, for sure.
And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, well, that's where they got this from. This is what happened. Like I showed my kids, one thing, the great part about quarantine is I get to force my kids to watch all my old favorite movies.
Whether they like it or not.
Right, exactly. So my son had never seen like Back to the Future.
Oh,
so
man.
I said, look, you got to see it.
Yes.
Because then he realized all the references.
There's a ton. Yeah.
Right. And now all the new movies, when he watches them now, he gets the jokes because of that. So it's fun. It's fun.
That's how you know you're getting old, because my parents would reference stuff and I had no idea what they were talking about, and then you'd find out like, oh, that's what they were talking about. Well, now that's me. Yeah, for
so
sure.
many things. Well, I just recently learned how to play poker.
Okay.
And now,
what kind though? What game?
Texas Hold'em.
Okay.
And it was funny because all the poker references in life in general, and I'm like, oh, now I get it. Okay, and the songs and everything. Okay, I get it now. But not knowing how to play that game had me at a loss. So people are talking to me, and I'm pretending I understand. And
do you play it well enough to deal for the game?
I do. Okay.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah. My kids picked it up better than that, and my brother is amazing at it. But now don't take me to the casino. But but it's good. I mean, we have our own chips and stuff at home, so we're invested enough for fun.
All the games I know how to play, and I just realized this the other night. We sat down. She wanted to play cards, so we get the deck out, and I'm like, I don't know how to deal. I really don't. Even blackjack, I'm like, I think you have to like burn a card or something. I don't know. I just know how to lose money.
Yeah.
I
Well, I like blackjack. Yeah, 2 cards at least. Like one down, one face down, one face up. I can do that, but I don't like it because I've watched it at the casino. The fastest way to lose money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's over in a second, and you're just like, "What happened?" So no.
Yeah, I'm at the early stages of developing a problem because I just went to Vegas for the first time last. I think it was October.
Okay.
Anyway, sat down at the blackjack table. I had $100. I lost 40 or 50. I was like, that's good enough. I've lost enough for one day. Went back, second day, lost the rest of it. The third day, I walked down there with another 100. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take my time. I'm only going to place the minimum. I walked out of there with like $500-600.
Oh.
And I told people, every time I tell people that story, whenever they have any kind of knowledge of blackjack, they're like, that's not normal. I'm like, okay, all right. So you're telling me I got something.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm at the early stages of a problem because now I'm like, I'm good at this.
No, I think
let me go back with 1,000.
What they were saying wasn't normal was you walking away with $500. Like you actually left the building while you were winning. So yeah, because usually most people, double or nothing, got to keep going. So but the fact that you were able to leave means you have enough self-control. So you probably always, be okay.
Just full disclosure, I had a plane to catch. So.
Well, then just make it always that time.
Yeah. I only go play blackjack when I've got a boarding pass in my hand.
Perfect.
Or a plane ticket. Yeah.
That'll work.
No, I did ask somebody when I got to the bar because I still have, they might just have slot machines at the airport.
I think so.
But I walked up, got a drink from the bartender. I was like, hey, should I try those or is it just, don't do it? He's like, do not touch those machines. Wow. He's like, don't. Because, everybody knows, like, what places pay out, which ones don't. Right. And then we had some friends go to WinStar, I don't know, last weekend, and they said everybody's up there just donating. It's like they had kind of changed the rules or rigged the machines because they've been closed down just like everybody else.
Right.
So they're trying to get some money.
Yeah, I can imagine right now.
Well, this might not be a good time to play any of those games.
I would go just for the ambiance anyway. I've never been to WinStar, and I need to go. Really?
That's what I've been told.
Oh,
so that ambiance might be, I don't know. If you're into cigarette smoke, it might be all right.
Well, I guess I'll definitely wear my mask.
And I shouldn't say that because this will be published, far and wide. So I have not been to WinStar. I do not know that it is smoky. I could be completely wrong. Please don't sue me, WinStar. Yes. But yeah, I'm eventually I'm gonna end up going and wasting some money there. So.
Well, hopefully they'll hire me. That would be great.
Hey, there you go.
That would be an accomplishment.
WinStar, you need a quality artist. You need to contact Ruby.
Yeah, so we can bring the golden era of jazz back. So it would be fun.
Now, is that kind of your niche, jazz?
It is actually. Well, when I was studying at Peabody, of course, it was opera, and I've sung opera professionally for a number of years.
Okay,
and it was great. But I guess anybody who's been in show business knows that once you start bordering 30, you're a dinosaur.
Really?
I wasn't ready to be a dinosaur or considered one, but I did an opera, I guess back in, I want to say maybe 2010, 2012. And my understudy was 19. And she's phenomenal. Actually, it's funny because she's here in Dallas too. And she teaches. But at the time, she was 19, and I was like 32 or something. I think I'd already had 3 children, I want to say. So me being an older person and, children in tow, this was already taboo because it seems like to be a professional opera singer, there's a lot of travel involved, a lot of dedication, and to have a family is almost a no-no. I've been told to my face, do not have any more children. After each child, they're like, no. And then you read reviews from people like, oh, her career's over. She's on child number 2, child number 3, So
people are leaving that in reviews?
Oh, I mean, they're just, that's a thing because I think as a woman in any workplace, when you have children or a family, family, they have to consider that hands down the family wins.
Yeah.
Period. So as a performer, definitely hands down the family wins. In addition to that, your exposure to germs or being sick, you know what I mean, the likelihood of you not being available is high. So now that still should be your choice you get to make, but I mean, that's the industry. But the issue was that, okay, my understudy's 19.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I call in for a sore throat or anything, you know, I'm never getting my spot back. She's 19. And it's funny because other people, and hopefully you'll encounter them, will tell you this story. I broke my ankle and my foot. I was going to rehearsals in orchestra with a long boot on my leg from knee to foot and just carting that boot around and everything. I did not want to lose my spot and singing and everything. And then I actually eventually during the performances took the boot off against advice to wear the shoe, to perform in the shoe. My foot has never been right because I was not supposed to do that. But that's the level of competition. And I realized it wasn't for me after all of that. I did finish the show and that was wonderful. But now singing jazz, it's comfortable. I'm older and it's not so competitive, and I'm not, I guess because I'm older, I'm not trying to, I got to be the best, I got to be the cutest, I got to be, I'm old and fat and I love it, I eat what I want. Opera for me was a lifestyle. You had to eat just natural juices and berries, you had to keep your throat, always a scarf or a hood even in the summertime, and it was just everything because the voice was so fragile. And not saying it's not that way with jazz, but I think because of the work ethic I had to keep singing classical music, singing jazz is comfortable for me. And I don't sing all jazz, but just the comfortable Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett era. I love that, and it's fun. So I enjoy going to work every day. Or going into the studio, recording something. This is a favorite song, or I find a new favorite. My parents are seniors. Well, my father's deceased, but my mother's a senior now. And so now she texts me today, do you know this? Can you learn that? I like that. I think people would like that. They're old like me.
Nice.
And so it's fun, and she likes me again. So that's cool. I get to please my mom once and for all. And it's cool because then my father's pleased because I get to make money doing my craft. It wasn't so easy singing classical music in Baltimore. Not exactly the fine arts driven town, so it was kind of hard to go back and forth, working, singing, and still doing things. I drove a bus, in my spare time. But now just singing American Songbook, it's just fun. People enjoy it. They love it. They love it here. And I enjoy doing it for them. And they think I'm the ghost of Ellis Fitzgerald. So, it's just really funny. Like, people walk up to me after performing, are you channeling Ella? And I'm like, that's a little spooky, but if that's what floats your boat.
Yeah. If that's what you got to tell yourself to like me, go right ahead.
It is what it is. But I like the fact that I am being compared to her, so it keeps me on my toes because she was a phenomenal singer. So I definitely make sure if I sing one of her pieces, it's on point. So.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there. First of all, I don't think that when people think of opera that they're thinking of a 19-year-old. Do you?
Or younger. No,
That's
now,
crazy.
not anymore. It was, it's not over till the fat lady sings. So you expected this Brunhilde, large woman singing with her boobs and her horns everywhere.
Somebody with a lot of range in their voice, you wouldn't expect a younger.
It's just,
I wouldn't think.
Opera, the industry has changed too.
Yeah.
So back in the days of Leontine Price and, those big names that we knew back in the day, that has changed because now it's about, it's still about talent, but opera was a dying art at one point in time. And so it's now about who can fit the dress.
Oh,
you got to fit the dress, and you have to be phenomenal at the same time and look great. And then they have to they have to keep reinventing music that people wrote hundreds of years ago. To new people that liked it. Yeah, it's great if you were alive when Ella Fisher was alive and you enjoy her music once again, but who knows Beethoven now? Yeah. So to make it interesting to a new generation of people, you have to make it appealing, and nobody's paying hundreds of dollars for a ticket to go see somebody up there that looks like their grandma.
Yeah.
They're just not, you know what I mean? So yeah, you get trained younger and younger and younger. And then because the world is smaller because of the internet, the competition is higher.
Yeah.
So, you know, for everything that you think that you do well, just know that there's somebody with less who can do more. And you're reminded of it every time you go into an audition. And that can be nerve wracking. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of glad I got old and got out. But I will say it does something to me, because Facebook is a beautiful thing, but also you see your colleagues and they're like famous now, and you're just like, and all I got was fat, and you've got a Grammy, and that's great, you know. So, but I felt as though if I would have hung around and, you know, laid off the kid having a little bit, I'd have been up there with them. But, you know, I wouldn't trade it for the world. But yeah, I'm enjoying jazz life because
That's awesome.
I like food.
Well, I hope you broke your foot off in someone's butt whenever they were leaving you nasty messages saying that your career was done because you were having kids. But how did you injure your foot?
Actually, it was funny. Christmas shopping.
It can be competitive.
It is, but it was. My mother is. She's a terrible gift giver.
Oh no.
She
Ruby's
really wanted,
mom, please don't listen to this.
No, she knows this about herself. And she called me one day. She said, "Look, I don't know what this whole Christmas rush thing is about, but I want to be with everybody else in the mall. I want to feel it. I want to understand it. So would you please take me Christmas shopping?"
Oh, God.
And so I'm like, of course. I mean, you want to go to the mall and shop for people's stuff? Yeah. So, you know, I got up one morning and, you know, I took her and we went to the mall, and I'm walking around, and it just, I don't know, it was not a good idea. Those concrete floors or something. I don't know. And of course, she was older, and, you know, you're taking your time and you want to go in every store, you touch stuff. And so it took longer than it would have normally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I injured my foot doing that. And well, now she knows how I did it. I didn't tell her. But yeah, and then after that, of course, it was time for the show, and everything went on because
I gotta tell the listeners, I am so sorry for the background noise. What you're hearing is a home improvement project that I didn't know was scheduled for today. But we're gonna get through this.
Yes.
And I'm sorry for the noise in the background. But these are directional microphones, so we should be good.
Yes, sure. But just in case they wonder, that's what it is.
So I want to know more about what you got going on the jazz end, because I want to say in the last 2 to 3 years, I can't get enough jazz.
Oh.
That's kind of where my musical interest is starting to deviate towards, and probably because I just wasn't inundated with it earlier in life, and it's kind of like I'm rediscovering something that I really never got to participate in. So
well, good. We're rediscovering it together, because when I was younger, I was studying classical music. It was a forced thing at first.
Yeah.
Most things are, you know, just the practicing and everything. And listening and definitely performing other styles of music was forbidden. And because, you know, it was fun, and they knew you were never coming back if you did that. And so as an adult, and I mean like an adult, like away from your mom, long moved out, and you know, when she calls and your spouse can answer the phone type thing, I snuck and started listening to some things, and started discovering, wow, I really like this.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, it's easy listening. It's fun. The expression, just the camaraderie with the musicians and everything, and what they're singing about. And it just, it's so much fun. And what I loved about that particular era is that the song was more about the composer than the artist. Mm-hmm. The song was written and everybody sang it. Versus if you hear a song now, it's a Bruno Mars song, or it's a Beyonce song, or this. Everybody sang the song, and you got a chance to like the artist based on the way that they performed the song.
Yeah, their particular rendition of
you
it.
Fly Me to Moon, everybody sang that.
That's true.
And you got versions that you love. Now, granted, Frank Sinatra's version or Tony Bennett's version may be the most popular. However, a lot of people sang it, and you hear versions of it like, wow, I didn't know she did this, or I didn't know she did that. So the discovery is wonderful. And then you got the scatting, and I'm learning how to scat. So that's fun. And my kids laugh at me. They laugh at me, but it's fun. It's fun. But I love it. It is just so much fun. And then the old movies that it was integrated in and the part of, and then you bring back so many memories.
What's a good
so many
example?
People. Okay, let's see. There's a song called More. And Frank Sinatra performed it with Count Basie, but also Nat King Cole also sang it, but it was from a movie called Mondo Cane. And people remember the song, and then they remember, the people, the different types of people that sung it. And even though, the song kind of outlived the movie. The movie wasn't, I don't think, that popular anymore, but the soundtrack was more popular than the movie. Then Fly Me to the Moon, Doris Day also did a version of it, I think, in Pillow Talk.
This is all in that movie?
No, different movie.
Oh, okay.
Right. So then you have different singers that were in movies so that they could promote certain songs. And so it's just like, I'm trying to think, okay, for instance, Fred Astaire.
Okay.
So he did Swonderful. He did what is that? You say tomato, I say tomato. Let's get the whole thing off. So he did a lot of movies with Audrey Hepburn.
Okay.
And so you're just like, oh wow. So you get a lot of these songs where you just don't remember where they're from,
but you know 'em.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So and you get to watch the different versions of them, and then some of them, a lot of them, from stage productions, and you didn't realize that. Like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And it was so funny because this whole quarantine thing happened. Every musician was ready for the regathering of the Roaring 20s, and everybody was singing songs from the 20s, and I'm learning my songs from the 20s at Charleston, and Lullaby, Broadway, and everything, and all the shows are canceled and everything. So it's
Are they going to get rescheduled, or is it just?
We tried, but now it seems like we're pushing into the fall to redo it. I mean, I had a whole 2020 show scheduled with two of my other colleagues, and we were really going to put together and make a big production of it. And we are really just waiting for the thing. It was funny, the day we were supposed to first perform that show, that's when the shutdown happened, and it was just so awful. But it is
casualty of the COVID.
Yeah, so I guess we get the 2020 will be a do-over, I guess. I bought the flapper dress, that they all wear and everything. Exactly, can't wear it nowhere, so I'll probably be too big to wear it next year because all the eating you do for quarantine.
That's to be expected. Yeah, man. So I don't know if we're going to do a 2020 do-over. I think people are going to try to push this as far out of their minds as possible whenever we start moving on. I just hope that in the future we have some kind of system or procedure put in place so that when this happens again, because it will, people don't do what we did this time, which is shut everything down for months on end and destroy all the small businesses and ruin everybody's livelihood and alienate the senior citizens in long-term care facility. I mean, this is just such a tragedy.
It is.
And it's from being ill-prepared. I mean, we knew this was coming.
It seemed preventable. It did.
It was
I mean, not even, I mean, I'm not a scientist, so, okay,
right.
I don't know anything about the germs and everything like that. I'm just talking about helping people maintain.
Yeah.
I understand that, hey, until we know what we're dealing with, okay, I get it. Shut everything down. But then make it a way for everybody so they can stay still and not put their lives at risk trying to feed themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a catch-22. You have a Sophie's choice here now. Okay, I got to decide whether to risk going out here to make some money so that I can feed my family. That's sad. Nobody should ever be faced with that. And then the seniors, the forgotten just community in general, we're already dealing with issues with Social Security and medication and all weird choices to make. Now they've got, in addition to that, they can't even live out their last few days in peace and enjoying themselves. They said, I prepared for this. I have retirement. I did what I was supposed to do.
I followed the rules.
Right. And, so.
Well, and to be clear, I went on a 30-second rant there, but I'm not just saying that the government needs to be prepared. There's some personal responsibility, right? And I'm talking about myself too, because I wasn't ready for this. I was fortunate enough to have a full-time job in an industry that was very mildly affected by this. So, but that doesn't mean I was prepared in the future to prevent myself from losing everything. What I need to have in place is maybe 12 months. And this is a hard goal to hit, but I need to be able to sustain myself for 12 months without pay. Yeah. I'd heard it said in the past that you need to have 3 months saved up, which I didn't even have that. But
I don't think anybody do.
No, I mean, and if you look, because there's people that have done studies on this already, or they had the numbers available, like the number of Americans that don't live paycheck to paycheck. I think it's something like 70 to 80% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. And it's not just Americans, individuals, it's companies. All these small businesses that got shut down overnight, it's because they couldn't do that. They couldn't close the doors for a day or they'd go under, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen so many just small franchises that were barely holding on, but they were holding on as long as they could keep their doors open. Yeah. And now the doors are closed. We're never going to see them again. Nope. So it's really sad, but I just don't know how anybody is able to save up enough money. I'm sure it'll be in the forefront of everybody's mind now that, okay, well, if in case this happens again, I need to be prepared. Yeah. But I'm just amazed at the way other people are helping people, though. Yes. People are really looking out for people. There are some really, really nice people out there, really nice businesses that are, I will say, trying to look out for the little guy and help them out. And I really appreciate that. But, just check on your neighbor, please, because, sometimes all they need to know is that you care to give them just the hope to hold on just for a little bit longer. So, it's rough.
And I think there's going to be two groups of people that probably come out of this. There's going to be people that are more cynical about their neighbors because, maybe their community wasn't super supportive. And then there's going to be some people that walk out of this feeling better because they did have good neighbors that did check on them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but there's going to be a decade worth of documentaries and stories being told about this because I'm already hearing little stories here and there where I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. And the possibilities are endless of just the implications of this, just the situations that people are being put in because, either work was a safe place or school was a safe place. And now these people are stuck at home with their abusers and other things. For sure. Some children only ate at school.
Yep.
And now they're home. And, it was already hard. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I say a prayer for them when I can. Yeah.
Well, we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
That's what they tell us.
One way or the other. Well, I mean, we will or we won't. And
yes.
You just got to adapt, I guess. Well, that really killed the mood.
Yeah, it did. Well, look, let's bring it back in. My children tease me all the time because I always change the mood, sad or otherwise. And they say, well, Mom, it's all kinds of crazy stuff going on outside. And but you're always trying to find work and singing and everything. They say, well, you probably are trying to find ways to sing outside of police stations and protests and things like, what I mean? They're just like,
how can I turn this frown upside down?
really. And I am that way. So, but
that's great. I need more people like that in my circle. That's
great. You sing in a hospital if they let you. Yes, I would.
Yeah, get out of my way. Let me in.
Yes.
Well, I've been meaning to jump in there and say something about your son Rodney.
Hi, Rodney.
I know that the people that are watching on YouTube can see him in the background. And what are you working on back there? A video on what? Premiere Pro. He's a content creator in the making. He has a Nikon, his first starter camera, and he's taking some pictures of us today. You probably saw him moving around in the foreground there. But it sounds like after a while we'll have Rodney on here talking about his creations.
I hope so. He does some pretty good stuff. I try to get him camera and all the software that he wants, and he definitely edits all my videos. Yeah. And so he does a great job with that.
Well, and I mentioned that your Instagram photos look great, and you were telling me Rodney does all those?
Yes, everything.
Very cool.
Yeah. So you'll be able to tell when we upgrade because the pictures will get better.
Sounds like that creative mind has traveled down the gene pool.
Oh yes, all my children are trying to be in creative type things. My daughter, she wants to be a linguist, but she's 22, and also she does theater and she sings with me sometimes.
Really?
Yes. And then I have an older son, Robert. He's 22. I mean, he's 20. No, Rachel's 22. I get them mixed up. I call them each other's names too, and then they all begin with R. It's crazy. So Rachel's 22. Robert is 18. He just graduated from Skyline High School with honors. And
was that the photo I saw with the
whole garb of non-graduated
looked very prestigious
virtual graduation. Yes, so he graduated. He was also their starting center for their football team, and he had a real hard choice because he wanted to do music, and so instead of going to college for football, he wants to do music. So he's going to study commercial music at Cedar Valley this fall.
Where's Cedar Valley?
Not actually between here and Dallas, near Lancaster.
Well, that's good. You can visit him on your way to do the next podcast.
Oh, he is not leaving me. I bribed him with cars and everything.
Nice.
Not until he finishes that, then he can go.
Good.
And then, of course, Rodney wants to do videos and stuff. So they both, especially when I do videos for the senior buildings, they do, Rob does my audio and Rodney does my video. And they put their little, equipment together, and he does the editing for the pictures and the video and everything. We got a little green screen set up, and we have fun.
It sounds like I could learn a thing or two from them.
Oh yes. Now I mentioned I have 4 children. Jasmine is number 4. Don't ask me what happened here. She's 5. Everybody else in 22, 18, 14, and 5.
Yeah.
Jasmine is 5, spelled Jazz. So you see how invested I'm in the jazz thing. Jasmine is 5, but Jasmine sings with me as well.
Okay.
I take her to a lot of the senior places that'll let us in.
Very cool.
She sings with me, and she just loves it. And she just steals the show. I know I don't put any songs after Jasmine sings because the cuteness factor just takes over. So
you're not topping that.
That's how Jasmine, you're singing last, buddy, because they're not going to like me anymore. But yeah, so that's what we're up to. But I think they're all going to end up being artists. But I teach them, hey, earn as much money as you can to feed yourself. Don't get greedy, and do what you love for a living, because the crappy moments are going to come.
Yep.
They're inevitable. So you might as well laugh and enjoy the great moments, because it's not preventable, the ups and downs. So you might as well do what you love. So I try to enable them to do that. I told them this summer I didn't want them to get summer jobs. I wanted them to create and do the things that they wanted to do. And then when school starts, then they focus on those things. So, I like the algorithm we have going on here. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was a friend of mine named Doozy that just walked in the back door. She didn't know what was going on, so she snuck back out. Well, I tell you what, that's probably a good place for us to end it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Hope I didn't bore everybody too much.
Oh, no, this was awesome. I was going to tell you after the recording, but I'll tell you now. I appreciate every one of my guests that comes on. And I have not had a bad guest yet, and I hope I never do. But some of my guests, I feel like I have a better connection with, and I would love to have you on whenever you would like. This was a very comfortable conversation for me, and I really appreciated our conversation, and feel like you have a lot of valuable things to talk about. So, thank you for bringing that to Fort Worth Roots.
Hopefully I'm in Fort Worth a lot if I'm doing business, and I would be glad to come down here anytime.
Now, we know that you work with long-term care facilities. What else? What other markets are you targeting whenever you try to select an employer for a performance?
Basically anybody that utilizes music. I'm consider me more of like a caterer. Like if you would call a caterer for food, you would call me for the music portion. I think it would make your event a lot less stressful if you call me. It's kind of like pressing the easy button for entertainment.
The Ruby Easy button.
Yes, it is. And so basically I target anybody who wants to have a large event and doesn't need to worry about their entertainment. So if you want something quality, classic, that I think all age groups can enjoy, even though, you know, we say jazz or whatever the case may be, I have a lot of younger people that do enjoy my music, the way we put it all together, and it's interesting and it's fun. And, you know, if you're looking for something that you just, hey, you know what, it's not offensive, everybody can wear it, you know, everybody can enjoy themselves,
Right.
people dance, just call me. Weddings, corporate events, different things like that. So I try to target everybody. It's just that most of the time the people that get back to me are the senior communities, because
Sure.
they need entertainment on a consistent basis.
Right. Okay. And tell me your website.
I don't have one, oddly enough.
Don't worry about it. So Instagram's the best place to find you, and
The
Facebook?
best place to find me is Facebook.
Okay.
And if you find me through Messenger, I'm usually, as you can see, I usually get right back to you.
Oh, yeah.
But also all my contact info is on there. You can find me on Instagram. You can definitely subscribe to my channel on YouTube. But Facebook is probably the best. But also you can email me at rubyweston@yahoo.com.
Okay.
But if you Google me, I'm on there.
Perfect. Ruby, thank you so much.
Thank you for
I'm looking
having
forward to
me.
having you on again. So let's
Yes.
do this again soon.
Thank you.
And thank y'all for listening. And if you need somebody to perform at your event, give Ruby some love, and you will not be disappointed.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, Fort Worth Roots. Thank y'all for listening. Bye. And I am sorry for all the noise.
Oh, that's fine. Are you kidding me?
Jesus. You know what?
Told you how many kids I have. I'm used to the noise. What? It wouldn't.